Happy 2016, everybody. This is Devin from Project Sax, and we're back with another Project Sax episode. Now, today we're going to be talking about a video that I posted previously about the Theo Wanne mouthpiece, and boy, did it get a little bit of an attention. Now, I thought that you had to have a whole bunch of views for something like this to happen, but here's what happened. Gary Sugal is a famous mouthpiece maker here in the U.S., so he's been making mouthpieces for years. I know a notable year for him, either when he started, was 1988, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me in the comments. Now, since I've made this Theo Wanne mouthpiece video, he came back and made a comment on my video. He goes and says, I made the mouthpiece that Minnie Abear was playing on for years, and most of her music is notably played on that mouthpiece, and it has all its notoriety because of the mouthpiece craft that I made and things of that nature. Now, since Minnie Abear has this new mouthpiece, he had to chime in and give his opinion on what's going on in the situation, which is perfectly fine. I have no issue with that at all. I really respect Gary Sugal and all his mouthpiece making feats. I remember back in high school when I first heard about Gary Sugal mouthpieces from a friend of mine, and I loved my friends playing, and I was like, well, if he thinks Gary Sugal mouthpieces are good, then they must be awesome. Fast forward a couple of days later, I end up making another comment on his craft and everything he's done, Gary Sugal, and I end up commenting on his things. Gary Sugal then goes and tells me about his mouthpiece and the one he specifically had from Minnie Abear, which was the super classic mouthpiece, and it's a great mouthpiece. He goes on to say how the new Theo Wanne mouthpiece that Minnie Abear has a more kazooie, Sanborn-ish type sound, which is no problem. If you like that David Sanborn sound, it's great. I love David Sanborn as a player. That's no problem. But most people, he thought, or he implied, in my opinion, preferred that more grounded sound, which is a logical argument, in my opinion. A lot of people do like that more grounded sound, a sound with more depth and less kazooie type. It brings a bit less, and it has more horn in the sound, if you will.
My vision was to take all the amazing attributes that CNC had to offer and pack them in to one mouthpiece that would be far superior for generations to come. By taking the best attributes of several mouthpieces that I owned at that time, my engineers and myself were able to accurately measure the tables, baffles, sidewalls, and chamber. With all the technology and talent I had available at that time, I decided to forge ahead and create several new models. Those models were called the SUGALS 1 and SUGALS 2, Super Classic 1, Super Classic 2, Dave Liebman 1, and Dave Liebman 2. A custom-made pure copper mouthpiece that has been 18-karat heavy gold electroplated or sterling silver electroplated will virtually eliminate that nasal sound in those off-the-shelf mouthpieces made of brass, stainless steel, porcelain, and other synthetic materials.
Now, fast forward maybe a day or two later, I'm not sure, Theo Wanne, he comes back and he then says something along the lines of, my mouthpiece wasn't made where Gary Sugal, or how Gary Sugal states that it's made. It is made with a different material. Now, he didn't contradict per se on the sound, because Gary Sugal then said the Theo Wanne mouthpiece sounds like a kazoo or whatever, and then Theo Wanne didn't contradict what he said. He didn't say that's not what my mouthpiece sounds like. He says, this is how I make my mouthpieces. This is the material I make my mouthpiece out of. That's what Theo Wanne was saying. Now, I love Theo Wanne. Like I said before in the other video, I love all the things he's been doing with Mindy Abear.
And our new art material. This new material is the only material we found through years of R&D and testing that actually has a more full-bodied, richer, bigger sound than hard rubber itself. Good vintage hard rubber,
Wow.
not cheap hard rubber, but even the good stuff. This has also blown us away how popular this material has been.
All right.
So the Shiva, the Destroyer there, is also available in the art material. As well as I've redesigned the Durga in hard rubber and art material. It's now the Durga 3.
Durga 3.
Yes.
That's the name of it.
Yeah,
Durga 3.
So like you have your iPhone 6 now.
I love the mouthpieces he's making. They're so exotic. They have these exotic names, and I'm pretty sure they all mean something special. And they have a lot of backing from a lot of contemporary artists nowadays. They are on the expensive side, much like Gary Sugal's mouthpieces are. They're about the same price in a lot of ways. I understand Gary trying to, sell his mouthpiece and put his name out there, because Gary Sugal is a big name in the mouthpiece making industry, especially in the U.S. I've never played any of the mouthpieces, from any other sides. For those of you who know me, I play a Fred LaBelle Studio 8 mouthpiece. Kenny Dolfer is known for playing this as well. I've heard good things about both brands. Both guys are great people. We're making such great musical products. At the end of the day, it's all about what mouthpiece you want. What do you want to sound like? How do you want to sound? If you want to sound like Dave Sanborn-ish, Kazooie, you can. If you want a little bit more of a Gary Sugal mouthpiece, he sound kind of more depth, more groundedness to the horn, you can go that side. You can go any way you want to. Now, price might become a factor because these are some step-up mouthpieces. These are not what you then call a cheap mouthpiece that you get, $5 out of the music store. No, this is something you might have to special order. You might have to order online. You might have to do a little bit just to get this mouthpiece. You might have to do a little extra work. You might have to put some overtime to get these mouthpieces, depending on how much money you make. But there entails, like Gary Sugal said, you get what you pay for. And then Theo Wanne definitely does put a lot of work into his mouthpieces. He has a good craft, a good product. So is Gary. So when you make a choice, make the choice accurate to whatever you need and however you want to sound. This is Devin from Project Sax. Wishing you guys good sound.